Ricky Clark and Jitan Patel combined to ensure that Warwickshire secured maximum bonus points to move to the top of the LV County Championship table with a game in hand after they inevitably drew their rain-ruined match with Sussex at Edgbaston. Only 65 overs had been bowled on the first 3 days, and so this final day was all about those all-important bonus points once Jim Troughton had secured his first 50 of the season, having resumed on 42 out of his side's 175 for 3. It didn't look as if they were going to get near the 400 they needed for maximum batting points when Darren Maddy was leg before to Monty Panesar's quicker ball, and Tim Ambrose was out for a golden duck with an edge to Michael Yardy, which left Warwickshire on 208 for 5 in the 74th over. So when Clark came to the crease, they had 36 overs to score 192 runs to get to that 400, but he made his intentions clear right from the start. Clark has had an outstanding season with the bat, and he's a player who never knows when to give up. His runs in the lower middle order have been invaluable to his team this year. He added 57 in 18 overs with Troughton, who was out for 81, when he drove a little wildly at James Anyon to offer Luke Wells a catch in the slips. But with Clark still at the crease, Warwickshire still had hopes of overhauling Notts at the top of the table, although as we approached lunch on the final day of this match, there seemed little possibility that they would do that. 3 classy boundaries in 3 balls off Navid Arif prior to lunch helped Clark's sides cause no end. He went to the break with another 50 under his belt. He got there with a slightly fortuitous single from his 62nd delivery. But the real entertainment was still to come once that Chris Wokes was leg before to Luke Wright for 12 at 298 for 7. With only 11 overs left in which to score bonus points, Warwickshire needed 98 runs for that total of 400, and Clark still believed, although he was probably the only person in the ground who thought that 400 was reachable. He had one moment of fortune when he was dropped in the deep off Chris Nash. The ball also went for 4. Clark was also aided by Keith Barker, far too good a batsman to be coming in at number 9. He too went for broke with some awesomely powerful hitting. The target for Warwickshire's 400 was brought down to 64 off 6 overs. Time for Clark to really go for it with his eye now well set. Wright was pulled for 1-6. While a second off Nash took the all-rounder to 3 figures for the 3rd time this season. He got there at a runner ball, and just how important this innings was will become clearer as this season unravels. For now, we can say that it was a quite brilliant effort. 20 runs came off Nash's over, and now the 400 was suddenly very gettable indeed. But before Warwickshire got there, Barker top-edged a vicious pull off Anyon and was well held by Steve McGoffin for an excellent 34, which had been made off just 31 deliveries. His partnership with Clark had added 96 in only 10 overs. Patel came out and hit the boundary that Warwickshire required. With 4 balls of the 110 overs left, Troughton then declared on 400 for 8, with Clark left on a sensational 110 made from 105 balls. So now what could Warwickshire do with the ball in their hands? Not a lot it seemed, as Nash started smashing the ball to all parts from the off. Edgbaston may not have seen much cricket of late, but this was terrific stuff. There had been oodles of entertainment in the last hour or so, with Nash and Ed Joyce now putting on 31 in only 4 overs of their reply. But things started to turn dramatically against Sussex once Joyce on 10 was adjudged to have flicked Wokes down the leg side to Ambrose. Joyce did not seem too happy with the decision. Nash was out just before tea, given out caught at slip off Patel for 33 at 50 for 2. So as the players came out for the last session, there was still a lot for Warwickshire to do to get maximum points, but they kept chipping away once Murray Goodwin clipped Clark to Will Porterfield at 85 for 3. That was only Clark's 2nd ball of the match. Matt Pryor was out in the next over, going for a hit early and holding out off Patel on 1. And Sussex was certainly giving their hosts as much help as possible. Wells on 26 now turned Clark straight to Ian Bell. Yardy was brilliantly caught by Maddy off Clark for 21. And when Navid Arif followed next over by driving Patel to mid-on, Sussex had lost 5 wickets for 49 runs to leave them on 136 for 7. They were of course trying to earn bonus points themselves, and their aim would now have been to get to 200 for a solitary batting point. Wright was doing his level best to get them there as he and McGoffin added 42 for the 8th wicket. With the shadows lengthening, Wright then sliced his namesake Chris to Patel in the deep, and Warwickshire were guaranteed top spot when Patel claimed his 4th wicket by trapping Anion in front on the sweep. And just for good measure, Patel finished off the game by having McGoffin LBW to finish with figures of 5 for 77. So Sussex were all out for 191 and took 5 points from the game, while Warwickshire will be delighted to have taken 11 for the draw, a result which probably felt like a win given the extra points they accrued. They remain favourites for the title they just missed out on last year.